Hello, welcome to computer, its internal parts and external parts. In this session, I am going to demonstrate to you the computer, some internal parts of a computer, and also ones that are placed outside the computer. So you can see here, what you are seeing is actually the monitor or display. So the name indicates it is just a display device. It is just a display device. There are three types of monitors: CRT monitors, LCD monitors, and LED monitors. CRT monitors, LED monitors, and LCD monitors. Nowadays, we are not using CRT monitors, but LCD and LED monitors are used. So you can see the monitor. It is displaying the what I am showing to you. It displays everything. It displays everything that is possible. So usually you can say it displays data, it can display your programs, it can display images, it can display videos. Many people may think that it is the monitor, which is actually a computer, but it's not the case. It is just a display device. You can see this is the back side of a computer. This is the back side of a computer. Back side of a computer. On the back side of a computer, you have what are called as ports. What are called as ports. So if you want to access any service of a computer, you have to put appropriate plug there. You have to connect using appropriate plug. You have to connect using appropriate plug. So port is one through which you are going to access the particular functionality or connect different devices. You can see here this is the this one is the power plug. This one is the power plug, and this is directly connected to your power socket. Through the power socket, power is supplied to the computer. Power is supplied to the computer. Okay, so you can see this is the place where you connect the speakers usually indicated with the green. Okay, that is the connection for speakers. So you can see some ports. These are the old these are old mouse and keyboard related ports which are no longer used. Nowadays we use only USB ports. Only USB ports. I think you can see the symbols also. Mouse symbol is there, keyboard symbol is there. Mouse and keyboard symbols. Just a minute. So these are old mouse and keyboard symbols. And below it you can see some. These are USB ports. The blue ones. You can see the USB ports. So through the USB ports, nowadays almost all the devices are connected. USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. Universal Serial Bus. So using Universal Serial Bus, all the devices are connected nowadays. There's also printer connected using USB port only. USB port only. Different devices are connected using USB port. Okay. So like that, there are different devices that can be connected. Different ports will be available. So whenever you purchase, ensure that at least there are few USB ports. At least 6 USB ports. Ensure that your system has at least 6 USB ports. Now here at this point there will be what is called as SMPS, switched mode power supply, which supplies the required power. Switched mode power supply, which supplies the required power to the computer. So computer requires DC actually. Here the bottom you are supplying the AC. Now one which converts AC to DC is the one which converts AC to DC is one which converts AC to DC is the SMPS, switched mode power supply. Switched mode power supply. So it converts AC to DC and it supplies that to different parts. One special port is this cable which is connected. I don't want to remove because the network connection will be lost. You can see the light below it. There is what is called as RJ45 port. RJ45 port to which internet is connected, to which internet cable is connected. To which internet cable is connected. For wide networks, this type of cables are used. RJ45 port. This will be similar to the RJ11 port of your landline connections. If you have telephone with landline connection, you can check the port at the back side. So it is RJ11. Here it is RJ45. Here it is RJ45 connector. RJ45 connector. Nowadays, of course, you will be using this Wi-Fi. You will be using Wi-Fi. Base in particular, technically speaking, you will be using mobile network connections, cellular connections, using which you will be accessing the internet. So next, you can see this monitor, this mouse actually. This is a mouse. This is mouse. Okay. This is mouse. So this is mouse. Mouse will have two buttons. Basically two buttons. Left button, right button. Left button, right button. Left button is generally used to select the items. Right button is for pop-up windows. Pop-up windows. There is a wheel here using which you can scroll. You can move up and down. So these are optical mouses. Okay. And you have these speakers. You have the speaker. You can see the speakers. And this is the keyboard. Show the keyboard. Keyboard. So keyboard consists of different keys. A keyboard consists of different keys. So usually you have alphabets related keys. You can see the alphabets A, S, D, F, G, etc. Alphabet related keys. And there are two ways of pressing it here. If you press directly, small case letter will be displayed or lowercase letter will be displayed. If you want a capital letter, then you have to hold what is called as shift key. There will be a special key called as shift key. Hold that shift key and then press that corresponding alphabet. Then capital letter will be displayed. Or otherwise, there will be what is called as caps lock, using which you can display the things in capital letters. You can display the things letters in capital letters. So if you want to type just only in capital letters, then press caps lock and then do typing. But here and there, if you want to print in capital letters, then hold the shift key and then press that particular key. And then press that particular key. You can see the digits also. Digits related keys. Digits related keys are also there. So you can press the digits. So you can see the top ones are the top. There different symbols are there. Exclamatory symbol, @ symbol, hash symbol, etc. Hash symbol, etc. Dollar, percentage, etc. So if you just press them, digits will be displayed. If you hold the shift key, and press it, then whatever is present at the top, whatever is indicated at the top, that will be displayed. Okay. You can see the arrow keys. Which are used to move left, right, top, bottom. Okay, left, right, top, bottom. And then this one is called as number pad. Whenever you want to type quickly numbers, do a lot of calculations, then you go with the number pad. Enter is the special key. So whenever you want to go to the next line, press enter. So depending on the keyboard, there will be different types of keys. So the other prominent keys are these function keys, which have specific function depending on the environment. Maybe during when you start a computer, you may make use of F2, F5, F7, F8, F9, etc. F10, depending on it depends on the computer. Okay. And one special key, escape key, exe key, that is escape key. At the top you can see here, these are multimedia related keys. Delete key is there. Like that, there are different types of keys. So whenever you want to purchase a standard keyboard. And this is the printer. You can see the printer. And this is the mic which I am using. I will try to show you the internal parts of a computer, which are present inside this computer, which are present in the inside the computer. Before that, you can see the front side of a computer. You can see the front side of a computer. You can see the power button, some USB ports, and blinking. You can see that means that indicates the hardware activity. You can also see the DVD drive, which is used to put the DVDs. Now let me go to the internal parts. One main internal part of a computer is the motherboard. So it is the printed circuit board. It is a printed circuit board which is used to hold all the components, including the processor. So all these components are placed on the motherboard, or at least connected to the motherboard. So it can say it is something like a junction box. So the main component of a computer is this is the CPU or microprocessor. This is the CPU or microprocessor. When CPU is reduced to the size of this something like this chip, then it is called as microprocessor. So in the early days, CPUs used to come in the form of a slot, a card type, which can be inserted in this type of something like this type of slots, into which they use it to insert. But nowadays you have this type of CPUs. Okay, so you have to place it appropriately. So this motherboard is a printed circuit board. It actually consists of layers. It consists of several wides and traces. It consists of layers. Of course, we are not able to see the layers, but it consists of several layers. Another important part is this slots. These are called as RAM slots. These are the RAM slots into which you can insert the RAM. Let me just try to show the RAM. So this is the RAM. Okay, RAM comes in the form of the cards, and you can insert the RAM into different slots. These slots. So you should bother about the RAM also. Now, if you are really interested in purchasing a computer, ensure that this is at least i7 now, and ensure that you have this 8 GB or 16 GB of RAM, and expandable to at least 32 GB or maybe preferably 64 GB. So don't compromise with the processor, because it is very difficult to replace the processor. Okay, don't compromise with the processor. RAM, ensure that it is expandable to at least 64 GB. So may start with a small RAM also, but it should be expandable. That means the number of slots that are available should be such that they are capable of supporting at least 64 GB of RAM. So don't compromise with that one, because nowadays for many applications, so more RAM is required, particularly graphical applications, more RAM is required. So don't compromise with the RAM also. But the only advantage is there will be few slots into which you can insert. So maybe if this is 8 GB, maybe you have three more slots. So total of 32 GB you can place. Ensure that total of 64 GB is available. So start with at least 8 GB. Start with 8 GB. And these are called as PCI slots, peripheral component interconnect. So different peripheral devices like sound cards, etc. can be connected to these PCIs. The other one, interesting one, is this battery. This battery is called as CMOS battery. This battery is called as CMOS battery. Okay, this battery is called as CMOS battery. Complementary metal oxide semiconductor battery. So it is used to provide power to what is called as RAM. Not this RAM actually. There will be another RAM associated with this one. Small one. It supplies power because RAM is volatile. Whenever the computer is switched off, its contents are lost. But whenever you configure a computer, you want to store that information permanently. So that's why you will be storing in a different type of RAM and powered by the CMOS battery, so that even if you switch off the computer, its contents are not lost. So you can see number of capacitors. You can see heat sink. Number of capacitors are there. Heat sink is there. Different. You can see here FDD, floppy disk drive connector. Like that, there will be number of connectors. IDE. This is for connecting hard disk. That red one is for connecting hard disk. You can see the ports. So this comes to the back side. You can see USB ports. Keyboard, mouse related ports, etc. Speaker, mic related ports. So this is the motherboard. This is the headset. Probably you are all familiar, but it has attached microphone also. So these are the headsets. So you can use headsets whenever you want to listen to something privately. Okay. Otherwise, you can go with the speakers. So if you want more clarity and if you want to pay more attention, then you go with the headsets. then you go with the headsets. This is the hard disk. This is called as hard disk. Hard disk is a permanent storage device. Hard disk is a permanent storage device. So it may have what is called as one platter or two platters. Read write heads will be there, and you can write. This appears to be very solid one, but be careful, it is sensitive to dust. It is highly sensitive to dust. So because read write heads will be there, and read write heads will be touching the platter to read and write. Small dust particle can damage entire hard disk. So don't expose it to the dust. And you can see the connectors. You can see the connectors. So whenever you are purchasing a computer, ensure that nowadays you have at least 1 TB of hard disk. 1 TB of hard disk. So this is the DVD drive. This is the DVD drive. DVD drive. This cable is called as data cable. This cable is called as data cable. Don't get confused. It consists of wires only internally. Consists of wires only. So this is the DVD drive. DVD drive. You can see this is the data cable. So this is SMPS. This is SMPS. The PowerPoint, and you can see some fan inside. So you can see different wires. These different wires get connected to different components. Remember that within a computer, there will be different components. Different components require different voltages. AC, DC, different voltages. Different components require different voltages. So starting from I think 3.3 volts to 12 volts. 3.3 volts to 12 volts. Different components require different voltages. And the connectors, you can see these are the connectors. So this is floppy disk drive. Floppy disk drive. the floppy disk drive. So nowadays we are not using floppies. We are not using floppies. But maybe 20 years back, floppies were very common. Floppies were very common. So 3.5-inch floppies, 5 1/4-inch floppies were there, and they were used. They were used. So that means you can insert a floppy disk, you can insert a DVD drive, you can place hard disk also inside a computer. Inside a computer. So usually to enable you to insert floppy or DVD, you will have some button which when pressed will bring a tray outside. Will bring a tray outside on which you can place the floppy disk. Not floppy disk actually, on which you can place the DVD drive. In the case of floppy disk, you have to actually insert it. You have something like your ATM card, you have to insert it. Okay, and you can also see the DVDs. You can also see the DVDs, CDs, DVDs. Okay, CDs, DVDs. CDs have some 800 MB capacity. DVDs will have some 4.2, 4.5 GB capacity. And you have also have Blu-ray discs, which we don't use regularly. They can store up to 25 GB. 25 GB. Okay, this is the DVD. You can write how much. You can see how much content is written based on the black circles. Whenever you write, there will be, you can visualize the black circles. But with the camera, probably you cannot see. But with the naked eye, you can definitely see. So this is regarding the computer. This is regarding the computer. A monitor. Okay. The CPU or system or the main component of a computer, a main part, or in fact it itself is a computer, what you are seeing. Okay, to which different devices are connected. Inside it will be different devices like this SMPS, floppy disk, hard disk, and then that motherboard, etc. So all those things. Outside it will be the mouse, speakers, keyboard, and you can also connect printers. You can also connect other computers. Okay, so all these things can be connected. Here and there clarity may be missing because I'm shooting on my phone. I'm holding the camera and then moving the camera. Also, this is not a high resolution camera. A reasonable resolution, but you have to hold it at appropriate position, at appropriate distance. Otherwise, you can't see. Okay, this is regarding the demonstration of a computer. Okay, thank you for joining. Bye bye.